Welcome to the English with Friends podcast.
Hello and welcome back to English with Friends. I'm Sophie.
And I'm Matt. It's great to be back with all of you for episode 7.
It really is. Today we have a topic that I think everyone can relate to. We're going to be talking all about childhood memories.
I love this topic. It's a trip down memory lane. So for our listeners, a trip down memory lane is an idiom that means to remember and talk about things that happened in the past.
Exactly. It brings up this feeling of nostalgia, doesn't it? Nostalgia is a lovely word. It describes that sentimental feeling you get when you think about happy times in the past.
It really does. So to start us off, Sophie, what's one of your earliest or most vivid childhood memories? And vivid here means very clear and detailed.
That's a great question. I think one of my most vivid memories is from when I was about 5 years old. My family and I went on a trip to the beach for the first time.
Oh, wow, the first time.
Yes, I remember the feeling of the hot sand under my feet, which was a complete surprise, and the sound of the waves crashing was so loud, but also really calming. My dad taught me how to build a sandcastle. We spent hours digging a moat around it and decorating it with seashells. I felt like an architect building a giant fortress.
That sounds amazing. It's funny how those simple moments stick with you, isn't it? They become formative memories. The word formative means something that had an important influence on your development.
Totally. It was just a simple day, but it felt magical. What about you, Matt? What memory comes to mind when you think about your childhood?
For me, it has to be learning to ride a bike. I must have been about 6 or 7. My dad took the training wheels off my little red bike, and I was terrified.
Oh, I remember that feeling. It's a mix of excitement and fear.
Exactly. I remember falling down over and over again. I scraped my knee, and I was ready to give up. A scraped knee is a very common childhood injury when the skin is rubbed off your knee.
Right, a classic.
But my dad kept encouraging me. He held the back of the bike and ran alongside me. He kept saying, "Keep pedaling, don't look down." And then at some point, he let go.
And you didn't notice at first.
I didn't. I looked back and he was standing way behind me, cheering. I was doing it all by myself. The feeling of freedom was unbelievable. I just rode around the park with this huge grin on my face for what felt like hours.
That's such a great story. It's a rite of passage, isn't it? A rite of passage is an event that marks an important stage in someone's life. Learning to ride a bike is definitely one of those.
It is. It feels like your first taste of real independence.
Speaking of memories, do you find that certain smells or sounds can trigger a memory for you? To trigger something means to cause it to happen.
Oh, absolutely. The smell of freshly baked chocolate chip cookies instantly transports me back to my grandmother's kitchen. She used to make them for me every time I visited.
That's a perfect example. That's what people call comfort food, right? Food that makes you feel good and reminds you of home or childhood.
Yes, 100%. What about for you? Any sensory triggers?
For me, it's the smell of rain on hot pavement in the summer. It immediately makes me think of playing outside with my friends in the neighborhood until it started to rain. We'd run for cover and then wait for the storm to pass.
That's such a specific one, but I know exactly what you mean. And what about sounds? For me, the theme song of a particular cartoon from the 90s can make me feel like I'm a kid again, sitting in front of the TV on a Saturday morning.
Yes, it's like a time machine. It's amazing how our brains store these things. Some memories are hazy, which means unclear, but then a smell or a sound can bring them back in perfect detail.
It really is. Let's think about some other classic childhood memories. What about school? Any funny memories from school?
Oh, plenty. I remember in first grade, we had a show and tell day. Show and tell is when students bring an item from home and talk about it. I decided to bring my pet hamster.
Oh no. I have a feeling I know where this is going.
You can probably guess, he escaped from his little travel cage. The entire class, including the teacher, had to search the classroom for him. We found him an hour later sleeping in a box of crayons.
That's hilarious. The great hamster escape. A moment of chaos that becomes a fond memory. A fond memory is a memory that makes you happy when you think about it.
Exactly. My teacher probably didn't think it was so fond at the time. Do you have a favorite toy that you remember?
I did. I had this huge box of building blocks. They were simple wooden blocks of different shapes and sizes. I would spend entire afternoons building cities and towers that were taller than I was. And then the best part was knocking them all down and starting over. It was my go-to activity. My go-to means my favorite or most reliable option.
That sounds like so much fun. It's all about imagination at that age, isn't it? A simple box of blocks can become a whole world.
It really is. Well, this has been a really nice trip down memory lane, Sophie.
You know, talking about toys and imagination reminds me of the kinds of games my friends and I used to play. We'd spend hours outdoors creating elaborate fantasy worlds in the local park.
Oh, absolutely. We had a little patch of woods behind my house that we called the Enchanted Forest. My friends and I were inseparable back then. A good idiom for that is thick as thieves. It means you are very close friends who share secrets.
It has. Before we finish, let's do a quick recap of some of the vocabulary we used today.
Good idea. We started with nostalgia, which is that sentimental feeling for the past.
Then we had vivid memory for a very clear memory and hazy memory for one that's unclear.
We talked about formative experiences, meaning things that help shape who you are, and a rite of passage, which is an important life event.
We also mentioned that a smell or sound can trigger a memory, and we talked about comfort food.
And finally, the idioms, a trip down memory lane and a fond memory.
That's a great list. For all our listeners, we'd love to hear from you. What is one of your fondest childhood memories? You can let us know in the comments section on our website or on our social media.
We can't wait to read them. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for listening.
Join us next time for another episode of English with Friends. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone.
Welcome to the English with Friends podcast.